Hi everyone, this is the FIDE Master Alessandro Santagati, and this is a very interesting video in which I will comment my game against the Swedish player Milton Pantzar. Milton Pantzar, I think is the right name, and he's a very good player from Sweden, and is very young, 15 years, so very good player. I think soon it will be very strong. So I'm happy that I won this game because probably in the future will be very hard. And okay, let's see the game. Because he played d4 and he's a player very good, I think near to 2200, so very good player. And I played d5, c4, so queen's gambit, and I played c6, knight c3, and now I play d6. My idea here could be play a5, play stone wall, or maybe play knight f6 to develop my knight and then try to attack c4 with my pawn d. Here he decides to avoid f5 and push immediately e4, and here I took knight takes e4, and now bishop b4 check. I think in this position is very interesting the idea for white to play bishop d2 with the sacrifice of the pawn d4, because after that bishop takes, knight takes, bishop e2, and if I play, for example, queen takes g2, white can play bishop f3 to defend the rook and attack the queen, and after queen g6, also queen d6 looks good because there are a lot of threats, and this position is not easy for black. There are a lot of threats. Maybe queen d6 is not precise for white, but white can play knight d2 to attack the queen, and then to attack the queen, I mean with knight f4, for example, and then try to go on d6 with the queen. So it's a very hard position for black. It's not very easy to play it. So yeah, but I think so. It's interesting playing this way. My opponent played knight c3. Is still good, this move. And in this game, in this position, I prepared a very nice idea for black, the move e5. It's a pawn sacrifice. I like it because, okay, white can take the pawn, but I trade the queens. I go in an endgame without the queens, and I can exploit the enemy king on the center because there are a lot of pieces in the board, and the king on d1 is not completely safe. So after d takes e5, I play the queen takes d1. Okay, white is forced to take with the king, and now a very important move now, bishop f5. Bishop f5 is very important because in this way I can block the square c2, and this king must stay in the center. He played knight g2, logical choice to defend the knight on c3, and now another easy move for me, knight d7, because I simply develop a piece and at the same time I'm attacking the pawn. So I'm threatening to retake the pawn, so he played knight e4, attacking my bishop, and after bishop g6, he decides to play e6 to trade opponents to stay with the pawn up. In this position, it's very important, don't take the pawn for me, because if I take, it's possible for white to play knight takes e6, and this knight on e6 looks dangerous, so it's not a good idea for me allow hit. It's more logical for me play knight c5, this is the move that I played. And after that, he played e takes f7, king takes f7, and here the problem is that I'm threatening to play rook d8. With the rook d8 I win the knight. So he played bishop e3 to defend it, logical choice. And now I don't hurry, so I can play slowly. I played knight f6 because my idea is simply hard pressure in the position. My knight on f6 maybe can jump to g4. Or maybe if I take c3, can jump to e4. So I have good ideas with this knight, and I think he's okay. He played rook c1. Sorry, I mean king c1. And after king c1, okay, this move is logical because his idea is move the king far from the d file, so that's good. And now played knight g4 to add pressure against the bishop. He played knight e1. It looks logical because after knight g4, I'm threatening to take the bishop to weaken the structure and to take the knight to weaken the structure. So he played knight e1 to solve both the problems, because in this way the knight can defend e3 and the white can avoid the taking on c3. But in this way, he allowed me a very, very strong move that I played rook d8, because his idea was play a3 to force my bishop to go away. But after rook d8, a3 is not possible because if a3 now, I can simply take the knight and I win, because after bishop takes there is mate. Incredible move, because there is the bishop and the knight. So with rook d8 I can avoid a3, and my bishop on b4 is very strong. So all my pieces are in a good place. After bishop e2 that he played to attack my knight can simply jump to e5, and now my position is very nice, because both the knights can help to attack on d3, and I have a lot of discovered attack, because when I jump on d3 the only move is king c2, and then I can exploit the discovered attack. So that's very nice for me. He played now rook g1 to avoid the discovered attack on f2, and here I played rook e8. So don't worry, I can simply improve my pieces, because white I think is without moves here. After that he played h4, trying to do something to attack my bishop, because in this bishop in this diagonal is very strong. And now probably I can simply play h6. It was my first idea, because I can simply stay in the diagonal and I can play knight e3 when I want. But I said, okay, probably I can attack immediately, and I played knight e3. It's good, but I missed something in the variation, because after bishop takes, knight takes, king c2, to be honest, my first idea was play knight c5, and after king c1, my idea was sacrifice the rook on d4, bishop takes, and now play rook e2. But I missed the idea knight c3. Probably this position is still good for me, but I saw that after knight c3 is not easy. So I said, okay, maybe I can play in a different way. So my first idea was this, but when I reached this position after king c2, I understood that it's not possible for this reason. But knight c5 was still winning, because after knight c5 and king c1, the winning move was rook e4, and I missed this move. Because after rook e4, I can simply attack the knight on d4, and this rook is attacking all c4, h4, the king, so it's incredible. Rook e4 is immediately winning, but I missed it, so I didn't play this move. And I played, instead of this variation, I played c5 immediately, and this is still good, but I made another mistake, another inaccuracy in my game, because after h5 I took the pawn, and probably it's still good now, but after knight f3, probably I was better play bishop e4, but okay, no problem. To be honest, when I played bishop takes h5, I was sure that I was completely winning, because I saw, okay, I thought that it must play king takes, and okay, if he moves king takes, okay, I'm winning, because after c takes d4, if he moves the bishop away, I can play bishop g6 checkmate, and I can win immediately. So I was focusing attention about that, but this is not true, because after bishop h5, he played correctly, knight f3, and okay, with this move he can still play. And now I said, okay, maybe I made a mistake, I wrong something, but okay, I can play for that game, and I trade the bishop for the knight. And then knight d1, check, the king is under attack, so the knight has the bishop as defender, so king b3, and now rook knight takes f3. Now I can play an endgame with the pawn up, so I have a good chance to win. And they play the rook g3. In this position, it's very important to do the right trades, because trade the right pieces is very important to win a game. And here I play knight d2, because I want to force the trade of the bishop for my knight. He is forced to do that because I'm attacking the pawn, so if he doesn't take, I will take the pawn c4, so my position will be very strong. And he played this, rook takes, and now rook f3 check, king g8, knight e3, a3, and then knight e3. In this position, I think I found another good move for me to have an easy endgame. I played rook f8. I simplify the position and I make pressure against f2. He must take on f8, and I took. And now he must defend upon f2, so he played rook f1. Now my simple idea was simplify the position, so I played the rook e2 with the idea to play rook e1. And so rook e2, we play knight d5, and now rook e1 to trade the rooks. And here rook takes, bishop takes, and my position is very nice, because the pawn h, I think, can help me to take the victory. So h3, f3. Now I play the bishop g3, because it's very important also pay attention about the knight. And I played bishop g3. he played king c2, and now I played king f7 to improve my king. Remember, it's very important to improve the king in the endgame. So king d3, and now is the time to play h5. I'm threatening to push this pawn. In general, the strategy when you have a position like this is not win with the h pawn. The h pawn is a blocker because when you push the pawn h, you block maybe the knight to defend it. And if the knight is blocked to defend, you can use the king to take all the other pawns. So the idea is the card, the other piece is the king, the knight to win the game on the center, for example. So knight c3, he played. I don't see other good moves for him. He played this, but okay, knight c3 is completely lost because for me it's good trade the bishop for the knight. So I played bishop e5. And if he moves the king, I can simply trade, and the position is completely lost in opponent game. So I played knight d2, and now played h4 because my threat is go with the queen, with the pawn to take the queen, and he played knight g1 to avoid that. But now I can simply take the pawn, and it's easy because now I'm 2 pawns up. He played a4, I move the king, then I move the bishop, attacking the knight. He played knight h3, and now g5, and I resign because now nothing to do for white. All the pieces are blocked. This knight is in Zugzwang. If white moves the king, I go forward with my king, and the game is completely lost for him. So he resigns for this reason. I think this game was very interesting because there are a lot of interesting ideas, especially the idea to sacrifice the pawn to have a very nice stack in the middle game without the queens, with the enemy king on the center. So I think this is very nice, very useful topic to understand. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and see you for the next. Bye. Remember to follow me on social networks and share the video with your friends. Thanks.